Welcome. Follow me is an Honor 8, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. So we're gonna start off with the home screen style, which by default it comes with the the iOS kind of look, where you have all the applications smack in the middle of your home screen. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, so you can actually change this if you prefer to have it the other way around as well. So, as you can see in the home screen style, you have the option to select it to drawer. It will relaunch the launcher, and give it a second, and there we go. Now this is still the kind of the older version of Android. That's why you do have this button right here, which brings out the applications right here, instead of what you have on the newer device, where you just kind of swipe up and it brings out the app tray. Alternatively, if you prefer to have something a little bit different, you could also download some kind of launchers, and they usually have their own app drawers with also additional customization towards them. So anyway, moving on to the next one, that's gonna be the navigation keys. Now, unfortunately, there is no gesture navigation right here, so I'm gonna only touch up on being able to swap the orientation of them. So some people are used to having the back on the other side, and this really messes them up when it's flipped around. So we can actually also flip it around by going into the navigation keys in the settings. And as you can see, we have a couple options. So we have a flipped option. As you can see, it changes the buttons around. Additionally, you have these options, which allow you to pull down the notification panel from here. Honestly, I don't really like it having it as a button like here. So just gonna stick with the default one here. And moving on to the next option, it's gonna be the app twin. I believe it was somewhere at the bottom. There we go. And what this allows you to do is basically create two different instances of the same app. So we have two different accounts logged in at the same time to a single application. And as you can see, we have Facebook and WhatsApp here as two options. That's because there is literally nothing, I think, installed on here apart from whatever comes default in here. So I can basically log into your Facebook, turn this on, and log into another account, and then swap between them seamlessly without actually needing to log out of it. And same goes for the WhatsApp. Now I'm not actually gonna go into it because I'm not logged in to anything, so this would take way too much time. But anyway, moving on to the next option, it's going to be the color temperature of the display. Now this display, in my opinion, comes a little bit too saturated, and although we don't really have a really easy way to change the saturation of it, what we can do is go into the settings, then display, and color temperature. And from here, as you can see, we have a couple of options. So we have the default, which that's the default that we were on. We have also warm and cold. Now you can change it to warm to have a little bit more of a something like a true tone feel to it. It's not necessarily as good, and also when you enable it, do drag it just a titsy bit down, because it's going to be way too yellowish at the start. So the default is basically smack in the middle of all the color wheel. Warm is obviously towards the yellowish, and cold will be towards bluish. So if you want to have like this bit more of a paper-like feel with a little bit more subtle colors and the white background not being so annoying, and then you can basically just select it to warm, and there we go, and drag it a little bit down, and this should be, in my opinion, a little bit better. Now obviously the saturation, like I mentioned, stays here. We only change like the hue to it. We are not able to change the actual intensity of colors. Okay, so moving on to the next and last option, it's going to be the notification panel using the fingerprint. So you can pull down the notification panel at any moment using the sensor at the back. And if you're using the phone one-handed, I personally, when I'm holding the phone, my finger's almost always on the fingerprint sensor, and this basically allows you to not need to kind of like try to reach all the way to the top. So anyway, let's first turn it on, and this option is located under fingerprint ID. and right here, show notification panel. Once you enabled it, close this or open it out, it doesn't really matter. So as you can see, I'll just swipe down on the sensor and it works literally flawlessly. I will put it at an angle just so you can see if I'm trying multiple. Whoops, no, it's not working flawlessly when I'm trying to show it, but there we go. So I basically have to have a good coverage of the sensor, not just like a single tip of your finger sliding on it. And anyway, it works actually better than I'm used to. Some of the phones come with such an option, but none of them that I can remember had this great of an execution where this works basically every time. But anyway, this would conclude the tweaks and tricks that I wanted to show you, and if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.